Good evening, it's Monday night, so that can only mean it's time for the ILFL Soccer Night Show. And tonight, we're welcoming football fans from all over the UK. That's right, because tonight is a special night. We are hosting everything to do with the UK Bangladeshi Football Championships 2015. And unknown to you, I have a studio full of guests to entertain you, if you like, tonight. And we'll get to those shortly in the programme. But first, I'd like to introduce the panel that we have on the stage with us tonight. First of all, to my right, it's the usual suspects. We've got Rashid Ali and Chairman of the ILFL, Kamran Zaman. And to my left, I have our proud partners from Shapla League, Birmingham. We have Abdul Haq and Robbie Hussain. Good evening, guys.
Good evening.
And don't we look resplendent in black? We're going to talk about everything that happened last year when we all went off to Milton Keynes and invited everyone from the Bangladeshi community around the UK to get involved in the 2014 championships. It was a great tournament. We've got some video clips from that to show you a little bit later. But first, I'm going to turn to you, Abdul. Welcome again. We've done a lot of talking about the tournament last year. We did a lot of talking before and afterwards. A lot of it was positive, and there was some genuine warmth and a good feeling about the tournament and how it went. Now we're 12 months down the line. Is it still having an effect?
Absolutely. It's been phenomenal here. The league, Shapla League itself promoted it. Nobody in Birmingham can wait for the tournament to start. I'm getting calls from all over the country. Everybody's geared up, looking forward to it. And it's a privilege to be part of it, to be honest. We've not seen this for a number of years. The last year is start. This year it's going to be even bigger, and it's in London, the capital, where everybody will meet and greet. And to be honest, I can't wait to start.
Absolutely, and at the inaugural home of football in London, I suppose, at Hackney Marshes, Robbie, it's an exciting tournament to have in London, as we've just heard. What's the mood and the feeling from the people that you've heard from?
I think it's a great feeling. Like you say, it's a privilege to be, to be participating in this tournament. It's a prestigious tournament for the Bangladeshi, football, who's played football there. And like in Birmingham, it's a very big thing. Everybody's saying, when is it going to be the tournament? And they're looking forward to it. And last year was great. I think this year's going to be even better. The people involved in the tournament, they're doing very hard work behind the scene. So we're looking forward to that.
Let's not forget also our partners from Milton Keynes and the MK Galacticos, who helped in not only hosting the tournament last year, but will also assist as partners in the tournament this year. Kamran Zaman, ILFL chairman. We've got it. It's down here in London. It's being hosted down here in the capital. Everybody's looking forward to it and coming down. What would you like to say to the watching community?
Well, it's been hard work, Dave, especially because MK have done a fantastic job last year. They've not only just hosted the whole group stages very, very well, but they've managed to host the final in MK Dons as well. And it was a great event. Everything went smooth. There wasn't a shred of trouble from the start to the end. So we've really got our work cut out. We had 15 teams last year. We've got 16 this year, and the interest to join even now is phenomenal. We've got 2 teams on the waiting list in case somebody pulls out, which is highly unlikely. But yeah, it's just a great atmosphere, great vibe. Everybody's on social media, everybody's talking over WhatsApp. People are phoning whoever they know, and it's a great vibe. I mean, it's a 16-team tournament, but I'm sure when we meet on the day, it will not feel and look like a normal tournament, because you've got teams from all over the country. It's one of the few occasions where this happens, and it happens quite big.
Yeah, it does indeed, and as we've heard, Rash, it's a lot of hard work behind the scenes to put something together like this already, and it's no doubt it will be just as busy and just as frenetic on the day. We've got 4 teams from London taking part. I know last year there was always this thing, sometimes some people look at the London teams and there's a huge expectancy. It didn't quite happen. Last year?
To be honest, we did quite well, the London team. We actually topped the group stages, but obviously London Tigers from London made it to the final, so at least one team made it to the final. And this year, I think the pressure is going to be on the London teams, playing at home pitches, so to speak. But as I said before, as the guys mentioned, the excitement's there, the buzz is there, and I think everyone's looking forward to the draw, because everyone kept asking me, what time is the draw? And I said, watch the show. So hopefully in the 3rd segment, we'll have the draw, and I'm looking forward to that.
We are indeed, and let's not forget who our holders are. It's West Yorkshire. They came down, conquered all. They are the reigning champions and looking to hold on to their title in this tournament. As Rashid said, we've got the draw to take place in the third part of the show. We're going to speak to some of the regional teams that have come down, those who are representing those teams, those regions. We'll be speaking to those in the second segment of the show. But if I can come back to you again, Rashid, I think maybe this year now, after what we saw last year, and let's not take away how well the tournament was run and how it was all put together. Let's talk about the quality of the teams, because there were some good individual players, and there were one or two teams who did really, really well out of it.
I think I was surprised with Luton and Birmingham. They played really well. They unfortunately couldn't get through the final. London Tigers we expected to do well. They're a massive club. And I think each year, every team are strengthening, adding more players because of the competition, because of the bragging rights, so to speak. You know, you're the best Bengali team in UK. So everyone had 12 months to prepare, add more players, you know, train up, be geared up, because it's one of the prestigious tournaments in a year. So I think every team will be adding more players, training and working hard, making sure they end up winning the championship.
And Abdul, I mean, I know there is rivalry, but there's also great friendships made from this as well.
Absolutely. I mean, like Cam said, it's one of the few tournaments that gets the whole community together. And although everybody knows everybody, there is that rivalry on the pitch. I mean, over the years I've done it myself with a few guys down south and up north. But saying all that, we do rub shoulder to shoulder, and this is the only tournament in the calendar year that brings everybody together. And I'm so happy and, you know, privileged that Shapla League is part of that. Not only that, I mean, without the teams, there's no tournaments, frankly. But we need support of everybody in the community, and it's happening, it will happen. And hopefully, inshallah, it gets better by the year.
Can I just ask you, who's your local rivalry? I like to big these things up on the show. So who's the local rivalry for Birmingham?
Birmingham, I've been growing up in Aston. I'm an Aston Ranger through and through. Over the years, I mean, over the decades, it's team to team, but our most rival is probably Lozelle, and in the 80s it was Bengal Tigers, but Aston Rangers from the 70s been going on strong. I mean, we've had rivalries throughout the whole of Birmingham. Not only that, London as well.
That's right. That's what I wanted to hear. London is the team that everybody wants to beat. I'll tell you what we'll do is I'm going to show you a slide now on the screen now and just show you the teams that are involved and the regions that they've come from. We'll run through them just very quickly for you. Now, from the Greater London region, we have Beaumont, Bromley by Bow London Tigers, Tower Hamlets and IODFC. I'll spell out the acronym a little bit later. In the Midlands, we've got MK Galacticos Luton, BCPA Coventry, Birmingham, Hearts United from St Albans and Northampton. Then we've got FC Oldham and West Yorkshire coming from way up north and right down there in the east. In Essex, FC Bannigram, Cambridge, and Sylhet, although Cambridge is not Essex, really, is it? We've got all of these teams involved, Rash, a good mix, people coming from all over the country.
I think that's what makes it exciting and privileged, that people are all parts of UK are participating, it's not one part of the country. So I think it's an excellent exhibition of Bengali talent throughout the whole UK.
Let's just talk about the London teams. We're in London, so let's just talk very quickly about the London teams. These are the teams that we know well enough to be able to talk about them individually and collectively. We don't know how they're going to do in the tournament. Your own team, Beaumont?
I'm looking forward to it. Last year we were very disappointed. We topped the group and then we got knocked out in the quarterfinals. But this year, for me, nothing but a final would be good enough for Beaumont. I know Bromley are geared up. I know Hamlets are eagerly waiting. I know London Tigers on the audience. They're looking forward to get one step better. So all four teams are really strong, and hopefully, you know, one of the teams will make it to the final and win the championship.
I know last year West Yorkshire did really well in making it to the final and winning it, and kind of just putting together a team almost at last minute, last call, and they did really well. They'll be more organised and more fired up for it this time.
I think everyone's had the experience last year, and I think everyone knows that they need to step up from last year. They need to add more players, a bit more quality, a bit more numbers. So hopefully they've learnt and gained a bit more experience from last year, and hopefully this year they can add a bit more value on the squad itself and hopefully prosper to the future rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got teams coming in from Essex as well. There are 2 teams, and I put Cambridge in that group. I'm very sorry for you guys in Cambridge. FC Bannigram, a name I've not heard. Cameras, can you enlighten us a little bit, or should we wait later on in the show to know more about them?
Well, we can enlighten. I mean, a lot of these teams are clubs, established clubs, you know, the likes of Beaumont, Bromley, Tigers, Tower Hamlets. But then you've got some teams that are made up of either regions or friends or just people coming together, really, and FC Bannigram is one of those.
Right.
It's named after a village in Bangladesh. You wouldn't know that, but...
Yeah, well, I was just about to say, you're educating me. I mean, clearly I didn't know.
Yeah, but, I mean, people out there would know, and, yeah, they've got a few London players in their team, but then again, most of the teams there will have, and they're looking forward to it as well. They're one of the last teams to come in because another team had to pull out, so they've really got the work cut out trying to arrange finances and paperwork and getting players together, but they've committed, so they're in.
Yeah, there it is. You've had enough talking from me, from the guys to my left and the right. We've hyped it up. We've drummed it up. In the next part of the show, we're going to show you some highlights from last year. We're going to get involved with some of the guests that we've got in the studio tonight, and we can look forward to the all-important draw coming up later on in the 3rd segment of the show. So stick around. It's a long show for you tonight, but there's a lot going on here on the ILFL Soccer Night Show. We'll be back shortly.
আপনারা দেখছেন ILFL সকার নাইট।